You're welcome to another episode of Smart Heals. Smart Heals is a program where we showcase female professionals doing excellently well in their careers with a view to you learning a thing or two and also applying in your career journey as well. So Kenny is going to do the honors of introducing our special guest.
Thank you, Benny. Hi, girlfriends. I'm Kenny. Benny has done the introduction of the show. This is where we showcase female professionals who are doing well in their career. So I'll quickly go into introducing our special guest on the program today, and that is Oluwakemi Shonubi. She's the Director, People, Culture, and Operations with TVC Communications. Hi, Kenny. Thank you for joining us on the program today.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Hello.
Morning.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Good morning.
You're welcome. So, Kemi, tell us how your career in HR, your career journey in HR has been so far.
My background is in accounting. So I transitioned from accounting, working in audit, and I went into customer experience management, as it were. So my play in the HR space sort of started, give or take, over a decade ago. So apartment closely redevelopment. So building content for training. And that's how I sort of jumped into here, if you understand. So in fantastic for me, I've had I've had the blessing, I'll call it as a blessing, of being able, as it were, when I say diversify in different industries. So even in the tech environment, we had businesses with the power sector, aviation sector, education sector. So it has been wonderful navigating through the different industry sectors and the different types of companies. I would say that, so this is someone who didn't have any HR interest eons ago, but I sort of, moved from accounting, which I wasn't so passionate about then, and found my way into HR. That's in a summary, basically. That's my HR journey.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
So going further, can you give us examples of the highs and lows you've experienced in your career so far?
Hey. When I saw that question, I've been thinking, I'm like, where do I even start from?
Yes, we are here to learn. So let's get it out of you.
There's so many stories, and I'm a HR storyteller.
Yes, I saw that. Interesting.
I've been thinking will be at some point in my career, how many years ago? Maybe 6-7 years ago. I was in HR already. I was at a senior level, and I thought I was doing very well in terms of the quality of work, in terms of the impact I was making. So staff were fine, staff loved HR, but I always used to seem to have issues with my CEO then, so I remember that we had gone through, without giving too much detail, I'm trying to, we have to balance this thing. So I was at a meeting, we're at a senior management meeting, and there were some changes going to happen in the organization. And at that meeting, a new organogram was being revealed, and basically I didn't prepare that organogram. And my role was being, will I call it changed, or it wasn't a demotion, but for the lack of a better word, it looked like a demotion.
Okay.
Right? And I didn't understand it because I just didn't see it coming. You know when you're blindsided, so I didn't see that coming. It took a lot from me, and I'm saying this to use it to people. I was depressed, I was upset, I was like, how can this be happening? I went into the bathroom after the meeting. I controlled myself, my emotions didn't show, and I cried in the bathroom. I remember very well. So after crying, cleaning my and I'm sure a lot of people have done that in the office. You cry.
Definitely.
So I got myself together, and I walked up to my CEO, me that I had 6 months to prove myself.
Wow.
For me, so I went home that day, and I just, after having conversations with my husband, I wasn't going to back down. I wasn't going to let somebody tell my story. I've been very deliberate about that for a long time.
Yeah.
I usually want to be the one who owns my story. So I won't let you tell me that I'm incompetent. But instead of feeling sorry for myself, I reached out to people that I respected in the industry. I reached out to somebody who was not even a core HR person, but plays as a consultant. And they gave me a lot of advice. They gave me a lot of, nuggets of jumpstarting or sort of moving forward. So the next many months after that, I started doing some more intensive courses. I started focusing on being more strategic because I didn't understand if that was the gap. So my high from that was, after intensive 6 months, I was doing online schooling, I was doing all sorts of things. The product that came out of that 6 months was a fantastic product. That is the product called Kemi. So Kemi was awesome before, but what that 6 months intensity did for me was, instead of me feeling sorry for myself, instead of me letting the CEO sort of define who I was, I looked inward and I'm like, okay, how do you get better? Do not let people define your competence. That sort of changed the game for me. So that for me was a high, because if I lacked any form of confidence before, what I was able to get from the sessions, my online schooling, the exposure I gave to myself, I realized that maybe I just outgrown the system. You understand?
Yes.
Maybe I just outgrown the system. And so that for me is one of my stories that I like to share, from a point of, you're in a system, you had gotten so used and familiar, but the system, maybe the system is tired of you or something. So you don't let them write your story. You don't let them define who you are. So I got better.
You go back to the table and the brand. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that was it. And that has always now been my motto. So every year I'm challenging myself. I'm asking myself, what more can I do? So it's not about the labels. It's not about the title in an organization. And that is what has changed for me.
Wow. That's an interesting story coming through your personal lens. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. You heard that, girlfriends. Challenges will come. The onus is on you to go back to your drawing board and then come out bigger and better. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Kemi. My next question will be,
thank you.
Female professional, how do you integrate your work life? I want to hear that story.
So first of all, I don't know which to say first. Okay, so first of all, I'll say God. And I didn't want to put God first because sometimes it sounds cliche. People just say, it is God, but it is God,
It is your truth.
It is God that, yes, it's my truth, So God has been turning up for me, in fact, when I least expected it. He has positioned people that are part of my story. So the first person is my spouse. I have a fantastic husband. I always call him my, yes. I call him my number one fan. Yes, please. So, and I'm not saying this, I'm saying this truthfully. He actually, you know, at a point I almost started saying, this man believes in me even more than I believe in myself, you know. So
that's
he
awesome.
tells me. So when I'm having all the issues, it's like, babe, okay, deal with all your drama, but you're going to do it. So even nights when I'm writing my exams, or I'm reading for exams, or I'm just staying up, sometimes he will just lie down and say, okay, I'm staying in the parlor, I won't talk to you. It's that funny, you know. So he is the one I'll bounce off my ideas with. So if I have a proposal or something, I'm running it by him, and he's been fantastic many years now, over 6 years, and she has been very, you know, strong in helping with putting some structure in the home front. Because there are days I have to stay back at work till late. There are days I have to go for, you know, for retreats and all of that. So that balance, you know, I'm able to. It's not easy holding the balls, but because I know what I am pushing, and I have the right backbone. So both my husband, my nanny, I have siblings in Lagos, I have good friends. So even days when I just want to, you know, detox, as it were, I can drop my daughter off somewhere. She's no more very small. She's a big girl now. But so that's the balance, you know, trying to, and then church, you know, you need to put in your spiritual life somehow, wake up in the morning. Then I like to exercise. I mean, I wish I could do more exercises. So, yes, I wish I could do more, but sometimes you just feel lazy. So I just go for runs or for walks because I need that to clear my head.
Yeah,
I use that time to actually just take fresh air and clear my head. And I tell people that it's not easy in Lagos, but if you can, no matter how small, I listen to a lot of music. So in my downtime, when I'm going for my walks, I'm playing music. If I'm in the kitchen, for example, my phone has music, I'm playing music. You know, so then I have a lot of friends, both girlfriends, guys. So there are days that, especially before Corona now, we can't, you know.
That's a new reality.
Before, I'm telling you, before Corona, at least we'll have a, you know, hangouts, if it's just barbecue. Because I found out that you just need as much as you can, as well as you can in your interest, the things that interest you. You need to find a way to fuse them together to make you whole.
Exactly.
You understand?
To distress.
Yes, because yes, we're very career driven. We want to, you know, turn up for our careers, but all these balls play a big and huge part in who you are as a person. So that's how I do it. With God, a very supportive family, whether nuclear or extended. I have siblings that, you know, always there. I have very good friends. So we do this. If you feel like you and your husband want to go out, they drop the kids over at mine, you know, vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, and I think God just also has blessed me with energy. I don't know how he did it, but I appreciate him. Yes, I don't. My niece was over 2 days ago and she still says, how do you have this energy? Because sometimes, you know, I'm the person that will just get into the motion, I'm doing all the work, but God obviously blessed me with that. So I think that is it for me in a summary, what makes me, how I'm able to balance being a woman, a professional, and then more importantly, I don't give up. There's no impossible in my book. In fact, when you tell me that something is tough, that actually is the place, that's where you will find Kemi. You know, when you are saying that thing is, hey, stop. I want to know why it is tough. So people, anybody that has ever worked with me is watching this, they'll tell you, they say that woman, I know. If you tell her ma, it's not, it is possible. So it is that mindset. I want more for myself. I want to be able to impact people more. That's what I'm very big on. I just want to live a life where people know that every interaction with me changes something, helps them. makes them feel better about themselves.
True.
That is what I'm all about. So that is what drives me basically.
Wow, that's wonderful, Kemi. I like the part where you said you always want people that interact with you to leave you being better. And that is very, very, very key. Very key. And having a support system, like you mentioned, is also very important. So girlfriends, you heard that. You need to get a good support system, people you can trust to have your back when you need to relax, when you need to focus on certain things. They are there to take up some of your challenges or some of your chores so that you have time for that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kemi.
So I want to ask you a very interesting question. If you were not doing HR, what would you have loved to do?
This is the part I love.
So this is the other question that I said I've been thinking. I'm like, God, these people, when I look back at all the way all to secondary school, there's no HR in secondary or even university until the other few universities that are doing personnel management now kind of thing.
Yes.
When you go all the way to secondary school, I tried, I started off in sciences. I was then they would tell you doctor something.
Yes.
After first one term, when I saw that my physics, I wasn't fantastic in physics. And I love to read. I love literature, So my literature was suffering. So I sort of just moved from literature, moved from sciences and acting. I said, okay, I'm going to art. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll be a lawyer, because I can talk, I can write. But one way or the other, I found myself in accounting. So to your question, I think, it's an offshoot of everything I'm doing now. What would I have loved doing? Event management. I do that without blinking. If you tell me you want to organize a party today, you are fine. So event management would have, yes, a party today. Just tell me that you want a party today, an event, we'll put it together. So event management is something that comes naturally to me. I do that in the office. So you see, it's still intertwined one way with our HR bucket.
Of course, I'm in charge of welfare, so you do events.
I love to write, so maybe my day job would have just been, I do that already. So maybe my day job would have been publishing, writing, being a critic for write-ups and all of that. Alternative would have been, I'll be a teacher. You see that all of the things are infused into our HR.
Being a learning and development team now, we understand that.
I love to teach. That's a place that I can be anything. It's almost like you're acting on stage, So those things, you find out that they're an offshoot of the person you are, really. The things you're passionate about. And so those will be the things I will hold on to and say, this is who Kemi is. But one way or the other, I'm already in that space.
I'm glad you've been able to integrate all of these things together into what you're doing now. I'm so happy to hear that. So, as much as you want to do other things apart from HR, find a way to consolidate and integrate those things so that you can get more value out of those things. And I appreciate that, Kemi. Kemi, before we wrap up the show, I have one last question for you. What is your advice for aspiring young female professionals out there?
Okay, so I wrote them down. So I'll take them one by one and I'll build on them. The first one I wrote was focus on your future. Nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody has a crystal ball, right? But at a point in your life, when you get to a certain stage, you need to start seeing the end from the beginning. So you need to go read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Stephen Covey. That's one of the pointers there. See the end from the beginning. So you need to decide what you want for yourself. So focus on your future, focus on yourself, focus on your career. There are a lot of distractions out there. And, you know, with the advent of social media, you need to decide how you want social media to work. Okay, I'm back. Can you see me?
Yes.
Yeah, so as I was saying, there are a lot of distractions currently. There are a lot of life distractions. So you need to block out the noise. You need to find out what is constituting noise. How can I focus on my career? How can I focus on the future I want to build for myself? So each time, like when 2020, for example, nobody envisaged this would happen, but we've all sort of gotten into the mix of it. So at the end of the day, I'm thinking of 5 years from now, what are the things I would want to have achieved? Set good goals for yourself. Set good goals for yourself, but don't beat yourself too hard if you don't hit all the goals. Because sometimes a lot of we women, we do that, especially. We try to, you know, you've set fantastic targets for yourself, and then we start feeling bad. Well, you couldn't beat it, but if you don't set those goals, then, you know. So for me, focus on you, focus on building you, focus on your brand. And for you to do that, you need to be healthy. You need to be healthy, both mentally, emotionally, physically. A lot of times, some of us are not nourishing you. Nourishment. You're not eating well, you're not sleeping well, you're not drinking good water, you're not even living a good life. So your body is not healthy, right? Use and leverage your professional network. If this one is even the best of everything for me. I didn't get to where I am alone. Beyond my support system, beyond my family, beyond my husband, beyond even the books that I've read in this life, the education I have acquired, it is because of the professional network that I have cleaved to. Because when people are thinking, or somebody is in a meeting, or somebody is at dinner, and they are talking about, I'm looking for a fantastic HR person, who is this, who is that? It's because of the network I have built that somebody remember that, oh, Kemi Shonubi, she does this, she does this, she does this, she ticks all your buckets. So what kind of network are you building? What kind of value are you sharing? Are you positioning yourself? Okay, for example, talking about, yes, I was talking about focusing on your future, right? Yes. And I said, basically, nobody has a crystal ball. You can't see into the future, but you need to decide how you want to see that future. So you need to start taking it in buckets. What are the things I want to do for myself? How do I develop myself? See the end from the beginning. You know, that's one of the key parts of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. See the end from the beginning. So what kind of brand are you building? Who are you building? What are the things that make you different? So you need to block out the noise. You need to have things that are not necessarily needed in your path to grow. But always remember that there is a goal. I am going somewhere. There is a race I am running. And though, even if you set your goals, please don't beat yourself too hard if you are not able to accomplish them at the times you said you would do them because of different things. You know, which is some things that we do a lot. We don't forgive ourselves when we make mistakes. You make a mistake, pick yourself up and do better.
And move on. Yes.
You know, so, and move on. But the first discipline is setting the goals. After setting the goals, the next step is, how do I achieve those goals? How do I commit to achieving those goals? Who am I discussing these goals with? So either they're advising me, they're propelling me, they're encouraging me, because sometimes you need that. But believe in yourself, but focus on the future. Second thing I said is, use and leverage your professional network. You are building a brand, you are building yourself, you are improving, you are growing. And as you grow, you know, as you grow in your career, it begins to get smaller at the top. So what you need to leverage on is a band, you know, a network. How many people are you reaching out to? And what are you reaching out to them for? Are you just reaching out, I need help? Or you are building relationships, you are leveraging on those relationships. Now, Kenny, for example, reached out to me on LinkedIn. I don't know if she had heard about me before. I don't know if she had consulted or asked questions, but something about my profile must have spoken to her.
Yes.
Those ways that are crafting your professional bandwidth. So tomorrow, I don't know Kenny personally, but tomorrow we go to an event and we meet again, or she invites me or vice versa. We're able to leverage on our relationship in that network. Some of you or some of us go to events or conferences and you're just sitting in a corner. You are not finding ways to connect to like minds.
Yes,
You're not finding ways to ask. You are not finding ways. All you want to do, you want to collect the book that they gave you, the Bible they gave you, and take some selfies with the speakers. What are you living there with? A lot of times I tell people that the place I've gotten to now, a lot of beyond my family, my friends, and all the other things, and God, a lot of it also is positioning of people who remembered my name when it mattered. People who said, this thing you are talking about, Kemi can do it. This thing, this person you are looking for. Okay, for example, you want to recruit people, right? Instead of saying you're going through LinkedIn, you're looking at profiles, sometimes just ask, I'm looking for somebody, a business developer who has this kind of skill. He or she is able to do this beyond your CV. It is because you have a network and people remember that
absolutely
this is the person that can do it. So please use and leverage your professional network. Do not abuse it, because sometimes we see a lot of people also take advantage of, and that's my mentor. You are not, it's not a take relationship.
Yes, exactly.
You are not to learn.
yes.
And some of us just want to run so fast. Yeah, we are in a hurry. You know, I call people, I say that people are the microwave generation. We are in a hurry to move.
Oh my goodness.
We are in a hurry to move. Yes, there's a time and place. Yes, speed is key. But what are you learning? What are you taking on your journey? What toolbox are you building? Now, when I say what toolbox are you building, if you see a carpenter, he has a toolbox. If you see a plumber, they have a toolbox. As a HR professional, what is in your toolbox? Are you just comfortable saying, I am HR, and we are the human resource people, we are the ones that hire people, we are the ones that, you know, fire people, and you have to run things by us, we are the policies only.
Madam HR.
Madam HR. Thank you. What is in your toolbox? Are you able to switch in a different way, in a different cap, because you are building yourself? Are you able to say, today they need me to be an analytical thinker? Are you able to bring that on board? Today we have crisis looming again. You know, nobody saw pandemic coming. So what are you doing now? What's inside your toolbox that you're using to outperform other people in your company? Those are questions. And then lastly, be humble, stay hungry. Don't think you have arrived. You have not arrived anywhere. It's not one pay. You are just, every time in a new environment, in a new stage in your career, always stay hungry. Hungry doesn't mean that food hunger. Hungry for knowledge. Hungry for more. You can't say, I know it all. That's it. And I don't need anybody. I've read it on, I've read it online. I don't need you. No. And then you need to stay humble. Humility does not mean stupidity. There are two different things. Humility is that despite your growth, despite the things you think you know, you are still willing and open to learning, because you have to be humble to open your heart and mind to learning.
Learning.
I've worked with different people, you know, some older than me in age, some older than me in experience. You know, age is not necessarily only about, I mean, you know, when you say somebody is older, and vice versa. I've worked with younger people. There are things that I don't know how to do. I will ask that person, how do you do this thing? How are you able to put this feature into this report? If I feel that, I've arrived, they cannot tell me. What will happen is you go to that meeting and they're asking you a question on a report, but because you did not ask the right questions when that report was being built, you cannot speak to the report. Your boss tells you to do something. You are not asking other people for insights. So please be humble and stay hungry. Always look back and say, where was I 2 years, 3 years? Where am I going to? And then what do I need? What are the skills or the toolbox I need on this journey? For me, that's key. And lastly, there's this thing I wrote. It says, it's one thing to acquire knowledge. It's another thing to put it into practice. So some of us will go to class, we'll go for seminar, we'll go for conference, we go and say we're starting a master's, we are acquiring certificates, you know, and all of those things, which is fantastic. But do you need those things at that point in time? Are you able to apply what you have learned into practice? Or it is just for you to put beautiful, fanciful things on your wall? It's not enough. So how are you acquiring knowledge, and how are you using knowledge? For me, those are my key things. And then lastly, have fun as you are growing. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. I can't say this enough. Don't beat yourself up too much. We women, we need to start believing more in ourselves. Take a chance on yourself. Take a chance on yourself. And then I know you asked me, the budding HR people, and I know different people are listening to this. I also say this, that we, the older ones, in quotes, older in age or in experience, you need to bring more people up. You need to help more people. We need to give more of ourselves and our time. It doesn't mean anybody should take advantage of you, no. But you need to also be deliberate in the way you are positioning people. And I think that, for me, is the summary of my feedback on that question.
Thank you so much, Kemi. It's been a loaded session with you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. And we hope you will answer us when we call on you again, Kemi.
I will try.
All right. Thank you so much. Keep rocking smart heels of yours. I mean, it's amazing. Continue to do what you've been doing. Continue to impart. We love you. And we are hoping to see you sometime soon again. Thank you so much for joining this program.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Thank you, Benny. Nice talking to you. I really appreciate.
You too. Thank you for the wonderful advice. Thank you so much.
That was awesome.
I'm sure, girlfriends, you've heard that. Put the advice you've received into practice. Build your network, because people are only going to use their personal currency for you when you build that relationship. And as she said, stay humble and stay humble. Be open to learning new things, and not just learning things for the sake of it, but things that you can actually apply to build yourself and build your career journey. Thank you again, Kemi. So, girlfriends.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for joining us today on another episode of Smart Heels. Join us again next week, Tuesday, for a fresh episode. You can follow us on all our social media handles, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, just by searching HR Girlfriends Tribe. Or you can send an email to hrgirlfriendstribe@gmail.com. Remember,
we are HR Girlfriends. We learn, we leisure, and we network. See you next time.
Bye, Kemi.